big dreams, so my watch got a big face. Girls getting listen like a motherfucking mixtape. Smelling like money and I'm looking like sex. I'm outside.
What's up? How y'all doing? How y'all been?
Shout out. What's really going on, everybody? Episode number 32. Noah Lyons checking in. What's going on? We took a little holiday special break, summertime, city boy season. What?
Okay.
So first off, Henry, where can we follow?
Follow us on Instagram at What's Really Going. Follow us on Twitter at _WRGO. Tongue twister, my bad. Follow us. Subscribe on YouTube at What's Really Going On. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts at What's Really Going On. Subscribe on Spotify, What's Really Going On. SoundCloud, all of that.
Jay-Z has joined Calvia as Chief Brand Strategist in a multi-year partnership. The role will focus on creative decisions and outreach efforts. It will also focus on social justice issues surrounding legalization and work to improve representation of previously incarcerated persons who are being excluded from the cannabis business.
Yeah. So it's cool that this is, going on and happening. We need more of this happening, especially in a state like California or like Chicago, Illinois,
New York, and all these
New York that are getting ready or have already passed bills that legalize.
That's the next step.
Right. So we definitely need acts like this happening in those states.
Shout out to Jay-Z because I know other artists like Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa, they've been partners with other cannabis companies, more of it's they had their own strain or they're just involved in a marketing standpoint.
True.
Jay-Z is I want to be educated.
Disney has a new princess and her name is Halle Bailey.
When's it my turn? Wouldn't I love?
The actress cast to play Ariel in an upcoming Little Mermaid live-action movie.
Not my Ariel campaigns going around.
Folk always got to complain about something.
Something. What? What are you talking about?
Because when we tweet out from the account, not my president, all of a sudden we the bad guys. Everybody jumping our stuff on the podcast account. But I tweet not my president.
It's blowing me. The stuff I've been seeing on social media, Ryan Gosling should be the next Martin Luther King. What? What? What?
Gerrymandering. So in late June, right before the holiday break, the Supreme Court ruled that federal courts could not stop partisan gerrymandering. Chief Justice Roberts said, and I quote, "Partisan gerrymandering claims that present political questions beyond the reach of federal courts. The Constitution's framers were well aware of the practice of partisan gerrymandering and never suggested that courts should try to prevent it. Federal courts still have the power to strike down voting maps designated to limit the power of racial minorities or that violate the one person, one vote principle. The ruling means that state legislatures and governors will have more authority to decide their congressional districts, which will be in place for the next decade starting in 2020. Henry, what the hell is going on?
They're not making
They're not settled. They're not saying oh, we're gonna put our foot down. There is it's above me.
Yeah, what? That's what? So now you're basically leaving it up to the states to make their own rules and regulations and write the the maps, and it's kind of it's crazy because that's. What is the voting rights bill?
Right, what the court basically said that, okay, you can't do it, you can't limit the power of racial minorities, but you can basically limit the power of political parties. So it's kind of that's the very thin line where if you say okay, we're going to limit the voting power of Democrats in Georgia, how far can that go before you are limiting the power of black voters in Georgia who are Democratic?
Right.
It's they're assuming that the two are separate when oftentimes they're not.
Inclusive.
To add insult to injury, next big fact, Scotus is out here wilding. Somebody need to get them. So the Supreme Court, they rejected the Trump administration's efforts to add a question to the U.S. 2020 census regarding citizenship. However, the court is giving them another chance. Okay? Immigration advocates are worried that the citizenship question could be used to allow states to draw seats based on the number of citizens rather than the number of residents, which could hurt Latino communities.
All this stuff is happening. Right. We know it's gonna happen, and it's crazy. That's why, Supreme Court justices just have turned, bruh. And he's doing what he said he was gonna.
Say it again. Say it again.
Nah, he really doing what he said he was gonna do, man. And this is scary, bro.
So basically, Henry's saying, "Don't act shocked. Vote,
please." Listen,
but that's the scary part is that I think that people just kind of think Trump is crazy, And then, yeah, he is crazy, but he's still doing
He's
stuff.
doing
like,
literal that's affecting people's lives,
So
man.
for context, that was the border crisis. So over the past week, lawyers and members of Congress have blasted the Trump administration and Department of Homeland Security, Immigration and Customs Enforcement for poor treatment of migrant children at detention facilities along the border. And
It's real sad, man. And it's crazy that like it's going on and nothing's really being done about it. We're just letting it go on. And they're like kind of applauding it almost. Like the media just talks about it. And like,
they
like
talk
how,
about, they
you
talk
know,
about it without actually like saying. I think they're assigning blame, but they're not actually just saying like, on a practical 30,000 foot level, how effing insane this is. Recently, so Sudan's military rulers and opposition for opposition like groups, they reached a power sharing deal. The rule will rotate between civilian and military members of the governing council. They're having an investigation into the deadly June 3rd attack that we talked about last episode. The Human Rights Watch's European Union director has called for the United Nations to investigate the abuses of the Sudanese military. I think that's important because she's basically doing what the United States should and is not. So I'm glad to see that
somebody
third party.
Mm-hmm.
Henry sent me an article about basically Louisiana's prison system being compared to modern day slavery. Some quick Googling, and then all of a sudden it felt like you got a treasure trove and stuff.
Yeah.
So basically, we're going to break this down for y'all real quick. So prisoners at the Angola, Louisiana prison facility have refused to perform field labor, and the prison facility, for context, sits on a former slave plantation. This has been episode number 32. Follow us on Instagram at What's Really Going, Twitter _WRGO. Subscribe on YouTube. We got some. We're actually gonna work on some YouTube.
Oh yeah, we got some
digital only content
coming.
Come get that.
We got some. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts at What's Really Going On, Spotify, What's Really Going On, SoundCloud too, all of that. And we got some good got merch coming for y'all soon. And I'm working on that website too, so just stay in tune. We pushing, we working, we doing the thing, man. We out.
Nigga ride away, then a nigga get taxed. Face no pants, and I feel him over